Online dating, let's face it, is a bit of a gamble. A few years back, I took a chance and signed up on a dating site. Honestly, I didn't expect much. Maybe some casual chats, nothing more. I was living in the capital at the time. Then, while looking through the questionnaires, I came across a girl from a city 3,000 kilometers from my home. People like her are often called divorced with baggage, but something about her got me booked. We chatted endlessly, and before I knew it, she truly won my heart. So I took the bold step of packing up my things and going to her place. It's not like I had anything to leave behind. I was working on an apartment renovation, so I lent my tools to a friend, took my savings, and hit the road. Fortunately, I had enough money to move without stress and live with her for about 6 months while I was looking for a job. She met me at the train station, her 3-year-old son by her side. The moment I saw her in person, my feelings deepened. Over the next few weeks, we spent our time strolling through the city, dining out, and even hitting some clubs. Before long, her son started calling me Dad. I won't lie, it felt incredible. At that point, I was convinced we were destined to be together forever. As life settled, I found a job, gradually rebuilt my collection of tools, and even bought a car. Riley, that's her name, also began exploring career options. She trained as a nail technician and landed a part-time gig at a salon, going in a couple of times a week. By then, I considered her son my own, and he saw me as his real father too. This went on for about 2 years. I started bringing up the idea of marriage, but Riley shut it down every time. Looking back, there were plenty of red flags suggesting I wasn't as important to her as I believed. For instance, she once flipped out when I wanted to buy some new tools for work, claiming her son needed a new bike instead. This wasn't a one-time thing. She even withdrew money from my account that was meant for job materials, sparking heated arguments. Eventually, I started asking clients to pay in cash to avoid further issues. Around the same time, Riley began taking more evening manicure appointments. She said it was because her clients couldn't make it during the day. I had no reason to doubt her, so I brushed it off and trusted her. Out of the blue, Riley started bringing up the wedding herself. I was over the moon and didn't hesitate. We filed the application right away. One of our many relatives offered to help us get a mortgage once we tied the knot. Since I already had enough saved for the down payment, I jumped at the opportunity. Not long after, we got married. She took my last name, and we wasted no time securing an apartment. I got straight to work fixing it up, convinced this was the start of a new chapter. Everything seemed perfect, or so I thought. But then New Year's Eve rolled around, and everything came crashing down. Work had sent me to a nearby town for a short project, and I was expected back in early January. However, the job wrapped up ahead of schedule, so I decided to surprise Riley. I caught a train home on December 31st, armed with gifts, champagne, and a smartwatch for her son, something he'd been dreaming of. By 10 p.m., I was unlocking the door to our apartment. I hadn't warned Riley about my early return, thinking it'd be a nice surprise. But as soon as I stepped inside, it was clear. I wasn't welcome. Her son was with her mother, and there, in my bathrobe, was a man I'd never seen before. Stunned, I quietly set my bags down and walked out. A week later, I came back to gather my things. That's when Riley unleashed on me. She yelled that she didn't love me, but I was still obligated to support her and her child, and keep paying the mortgage because I was her husband. Then came the real blow. She confessed that throughout our relationship, she'd been seeing other men, searching for someone better. For the first time in my life, I felt an uncontrollable urge to lash out, but I held back. Despite everything, I still loved her, or maybe the idea of her. So I kept sending money, paying the mortgage, and even buying gifts for her and her son. It took me a whole year to see the situation for what it was, a toxic trap. When my work hit a rough patch and I couldn't keep up with the mortgage payments, Riley exploded. She filed for divorce, cut off all contact between me and her son, and demanded the apartment stay hers. The divorce went through without me even being present, and I didn't bother contesting the property. Let her have it. I was done. She quickly moved on to someone wealthier, and all ties between us were severed. For a while, I spiraled. The pain nearly drowned me in alcohol, but then, by some twist of fate, I met someone new on the same dating app. This woman was different. She stood by me when I was at rock bottom, pulled me out of my despair, and reminded me what a normal, healthy relationship could look like. She didn't ask for anything in return, just offered her support, even during my off-seasons. Do I love her? I think I do. Life with her isn't always easy, but it's real. She's shown me that no matter how tough things get, we can face it together. And for that, I'm forever grateful.